Elite athlete Cheryl Bernard is an Olympian who has tasted victory and defeat more times than most of us can imagine. Her competitive spirit began to shine when she began curling at the North Hill Curling Club in Calgary when she was 8 years old. Her skills in pushing the rock to the end of the sheet won her and her teammates an Olympic silver medal in 2010. It is my pleasure to welcome Cheryl Bernard to Studio 4 to tell us more.
Thanks.
Even more congratulations.
Thanks, Fanny. Appreciate it.
And that medal, I see you brought it.
I did. I don't go away or, leave it at home very often. I always try to have it with me.
And when you do leave it at home, where do you leave it?
Well, it should probably be in a safety deposit box, but it ends up in a drawer or in my vehicle because you're always taking it to show kids or for some event. So,
were even you amazed at how nuts people are about this medal?
Yeah, it was something, our Canadian Curling Association briefed us on the Olympics and what to expect, but they never really said what we would have after the event, what kind of, how your life would change. So it was amazing.
And how did your life change?
I think you just can't go out anymore without somebody stopping you, and it's all great, but you don't get to go out in the world anymore and be anonymous, and that's different. It's a different thing when you're not used to it.
When you were a little girl, learning to curl, did you have a dream? Because the Olympics didn't have women's curling.
No, well,
right?
No, it was 88 was when it was a demonstration sport. So no, when I was a little girl, no, I always dreamed of going to the Scotties Tournament of Hearts. That was the big thing for curling. But when the Olympics, watching Sandra Schmirler and her team, I think that was when I really thought, you know what, this is possible and I could go if I really, really work at it. So then it happened.
Were you friends with Sandra?
Yes, yes, I played against her. We weren't very close, we were competitors, but I knew her and I knew her team very well, and they were great ambassadors for the sport.
And now she has a foundation that gives back, gives back, gives back.
Yes, I'm on the board for the Sandra Schmirler Foundation, yes, because of what they do.
And how do you determine who to give what to? How does that work?
It's based on where the event is being held. It could be for local hospitals, neonatal care for the Schmirler Foundation, so it's usually based on where the event's held.
Now, to the ice. What was hard about learning to curl, or do you remember?
I don't remember.
Because now you're so good at it.
I thought you were going to say now that you're so old, but no.
No, I wouldn't dare.
I don't really remember. Balance was probably the thing that, and when I go do teaching and curling clinics, people are shocked at the balance. I think that's the biggest thing.
Okay, and I have never curled, so I don't know, but I've watched people try to stand up
Yeah.
on the ice, and that's not so easy. Mind you, they may have had a couple of rides, but still. I asked two dyed-in-the-wool Canadians about curling, because I don't know that much about the sport, although I love watching it. And they didn't know much either. So, Dummy's Guide to Curling, a skip being you.
Yes, and your third, which is kind of your vice skip, and then you've got your front end, which is kind of your workhorse, your sweepers and your throwers. And so it's basically chess on ice. You're always trying to think a few shots ahead of the other guy, and you try to know your opponent, and that's the interesting part of it is the strategy.
Strategy, everything, I'm sure.
It is.
Especially when thousands of people are watching you. What's going through your mind? How do you focus?
Really great sports psychologist. We have a lady we work with from down east that is fantastic, Penny, and she just really gives us choices on how we're going to focus. The Olympics, she said, you can choose to view the 30 million plus Canadians as a good thing or a bad thing. They can be cheering you on or they can be expecting a medal, and so we just chose to view it as a big family cheering us on, and that worked.
Well, the big family cheered you on, including the Prime Minister, as I recall. I think I saw him in the stands, and certainly when you beat Switzerland, wow.
That was amazing.
And then we thought you were like minutes from the top step on the podium.
That was a tough loss. It was a tough loss to get over, and not so much for the country as much as for my team. I would have done anything to make one of those shots for my team, for the girls that played for me. So.
And the onus was on you.
It is.
Yeah.
You get the good and you get the bad, and you have to be strong enough to realize I have a really good attitude about the game. I do it because I love it, and so I was able to play with 3 other incredible people that were allowed us after that loss to go on and realize, you know what, we won a silver, we didn't lose gold, and we made ourselves proud, and that was pretty much all we really needed.
And the girls didn't beat you up after, no.
No, they're amazing.
They were quoted as saying, she's stellar, so she missed a couple of shots.
Yeah. You're going to miss.
What's wrong with silver?
The timing is, no, silver, I'll take silver. And over time, silver's gotten to be quite, I love it. I love it. It's the new gold.
Exactly. Well, and there's always next time.
There is.
What, are you going to be part of the team next time? Have you decided? Is it in place?
It is.
What's happening?
We put together a new front end. Susan and I stayed together, and we put together a new front end, and we're now starting this year for the process leading up to the Olympic trials and possibly a chance for Sochi.
And look at the outfits. I like those sushi outfits. So you never know what you can bring back. And I'm sure this time it will be gold. Has to be. How do you pick an alternative at an Olympic level?
Like our fifth man?
A Christy Moore.
You know, I think you look for somebody who won't change the core team. You don't want them to really impact you because you've gone this entire time successfully as the core group of you, 4 of you and a coach. So you just want somebody that's kind of there, bounce things off of, but they don't change the chemistry.
And I'm suspecting, never having curled, chemistry is big.
With women especially, it's huge. We got to work hard at it, and you can't have anybody out there that it's all about them. It's got to be about the team. Teamwork is huge.
And secret signals, like when you're playing the Swedish women, and you don't speak Swedish, I'm assuming.
No.
But do you know what they're saying?
No, I don't.
Really?
Sometimes we are starting to catch some of the words, like the Russians will play, or we play China, or we'll play, and we're starting to understand some of the words that they say, but no, you don't.
It's not
really
part
know.
of the strategy. That would take you off your game.
It would. We'd be focusing on them and not what we're doing. So
what was that you said? Hurry hard? But the lingo in curling is so good.
It is. It sounds a little different if you ever hear it and don't see what the calls are, but it's it's an interesting game. The media loves it, and the radio stations love all the yelling and the hurry hard. And
how often do you practice? How does it work? Every day. You curl you throw every day.
Every day. If we're not in an event, I throw every day until we are in our next event.
Really naive question. You throw in a rink on the ice,
yes,
or can you throw in the backyard?
No, I've tried to make something up for summer, but no, in the rink at home in Calgary, they make a sheet up for me that I can throw and practice on it every day. Yeah,
well, you know, golfers, they play in the backyard all the time, and they putt in the living room and all of that. So do you golf?
I do. I love golf.
Me too.
I love golf, but I'm not that good at golf.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Because with those arms, I thought just maybe you can whack that ball. But it's the putting, you know, it's the short game.
It is. That's the chipping and the putting is what you're going to be good at.
It's so true. Men and women in your sport, how is it different? How is it different for a male? How is it different for a female? How you play the game, how you focus, or is there a difference?
Well, I think the biggest difference is just the amount of granite that they can move because of the weight they can throw, because of their body weight coming behind the rock, and sweeping, how far they can carry a rock, again, because I've got a sweeper that's 120 pounds and they've got sweepers that are 220 pounds. So the difference is just the physical part of it. As far as the finesse shots go, we can all throw the same shot. So that's just where it changes.
How much does a stone weigh?
47 pounds.
There aren't girl stones and boy stones.
No, they're not.
It's like the bowling ball, right?
We all have the same stones. That's the biggest difference, is probably that they can throw them harder and sweep harder than us. Their physical strength, I
understand that, and they can do that on the golf course too, but they can also go way into the trees, as you know, and so can I.
Yes, me too. I get there a lot.
So after you make a bit of a mess, and I don't mean a huge mess, but you lose a tournament, you're just not on your game, what do you do mentally to refocus, to rethink?
I use a lot of perspective in life that, this isn't the only thing in my life. I've got great family. I just don't look at the game as being the end all be all. And, I go home, if we don't win, I go home to a great life and great family. And that really, and I'll sometimes think that in the middle of a tournament if we're struggling, that this isn't everything, and I think it frees you up to just play.
It's only a game.
It is only a game.
It's just a game. However, Wayne Gretzky says the female skip for Canada, she seems to be the best pressure athlete I have seen at these Olympic Games.
That was pretty amazing.
Pretty amazing, because Gretzky doesn't seem to be all that nervous on the ice either.
No, he doesn't.
But he has that, they've always said about him, he knows where the puck's going.
Yeah.
He always has. He has this
sense.
sixth sense, and that's why he's the great one.
It was amazing to meet him. That was one of my thrills in life.
A little rock star moment.
It was.
Who else would thrill you to meet at a sport level, at a music level?
Jerome McGinley.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, we can arrange that, can't we?
Well, you'd think I would have met him in Calgary, but I still haven't. But I just like what he does for community and giving back, and I think that's so impressive.
You bet.
Yeah.
We have met a San Diego Charger or two.
Oh, yeah. Well,
You have.
I have down there doing my tailgates.
I know. I think that's great because I'm a big NFL fan, and I hear you are too.
I'm a big CFL fan too.
And a CFL fan, me too. But tailgate judging, really?
It was funny. They phoned me after the Olympics and said, you know, we know you have a place down here, you and your husband. We wondered if you'd come judge this gourmet food at the tailgate party. I'm like, sure. And I had not been to an NFL tailgate party like this. It was incredible. And the food was gourmet. So I'm going down December 18th for the next game, and I'm judging their tailgate iron bartender. So it's all drinks that you're judging.
Great.
Interesting.
Do the judges get to sip?
I think you
Probably
do
you
have to taste.
do, yes. Or you'll have to sip and spit like
Yeah.
they do at the wine tastings. But tailgates are a long way from burgers and beer now.
Yeah, they're amazing.
And ribs.
And very family and very fun and safe, and I love the way they do it.
We don't have many up here. We tried.
No.
Didn't work out our liquor laws, you know.
Yeah, Calgary didn't do so well out
No,
of that.
not so good to get arrested before you go to the game or in the middle. Cheryl Bernard, our guest, she's written a book called Between the Sheets, and it has an addition, The Silver Lining. There is a silver lining in that curling cloud. We'll come back.